Get back! You can't do nothing.
Being a tourist attraction isn't easy, especially when you are doing something as important as guarding the royal family. These highly trained soldiers represent the pinnacle of the British forces, so it's always difficult seeing arrogant people pushing their luck with the royal guards. Let's take the cavalry, for example. When the signs posted all over aren't enough for the tourists, there is always the occasional situation that looks something like this. As you can imagine, this happens all the time. It happens so often that the horse may bite or kick signs are posted next to every spot where the royal guards do their routes. Yet always without fail, almost on a weekly basis, people get bit. It's not a pony, it's a horse trained to go to war if needed. Thankfully, this young lady didn't have any lasting consequences. Just a lesson that she had to learn the hard way. She has no one else to blame but herself. That's why it's always annoying when people get offended by the shouting of the guards. I mean, they are doing it not only for their safety, but also for the people's safety as well. Don't know what I am talking about? Let me show you.
Get back!
The fact that she still went back in for a quick photo, even after he warned her, is just crazy. The disrespect toward these brave guards is crazy. It's common sense to respect someone's culture. As this is a tradition that started centuries ago, it's safe to say that it's part of British culture. Here is a fun fact for you. The British Royal Guard, particularly the Grenadier Guards, has a history that dates back to 1656. Most of them have been involved in various military campaigns throughout the years, so keep in mind that a lot of them are war veterans as well. So if you see something like this, don't be surprised. Marching routes are embedded in their training, and for a reason, they are marked in various ways. Delay is something they don't accept, so when you hear them yelling, you better make way, because if you don't, you might end up as that lady. Another thing to keep in mind is the following. The King's Guard is stationed at Buckingham Palace, which is considered a high security zone. It's something that should always be considered, especially if you decide to visit it with your kid. You might think that it's rude, but as this guard is doing his job, so should the parents. Their job is to keep their kids close and in check, especially when near a marching route. Thankfully, most of the controversial situations happen near the sentries, so people rarely get trampled like this. Instead, they mostly get yelled at, and sometimes even pushed, but not by the guard. The way this lady fell was exaggerated, to say the least. But she had her legs crossed, making even the slightest push dangerous. Thankfully, in the end, she just got embarrassed, and she wasn't hurt. Keep in mind that it's the Royal Guard's goodwill that she had the opportunity to come so close. Since usually there is a perimeter that should be respected, unfortunately it's rarely respected, sometimes it's even disrespected. To give you some backstory, the guard asked the soldier to help him since his horse was feeling a bit anxious at the time when the planned route had to be taken. The soldier cleared the path for it, but no one expected a rude tourist going into the sentry point, completely ignoring and disrespecting both the soldier and the Royal Guard. People are so arrogant they don't understand that they can be arrested for behavior like that. If you don't trust me, just try to remember the incident with the TikToker. If you don't remember it, let me refresh your memory.
Stop being so goddamn rude. Fuck off.
This gentleman told the boy to show some respect and quit being annoying. After laughing it off and acting like a garbage human being, he started getting aggressive all of a sudden.
Piss off. Piss off.
After trying to act like a big man, he finally got what he deserved in the first place. He got arrested. The police were already called as soon as he started harassing the Royal Guard. Let's just say all the incriminating things that happened in between are just cosmic karma. This isn't a rarity. People mess with the horses even more than the guards, so the guards have to draw the line.
Get off the rein! Get off the rein! Get off the rein!
These people can laugh all they want, but they should be hoping for the police officers to escort them out, since sometimes, if you really push your luck, the Royal Guard might just decide to take things into his own hands, and trust me, they have some powerful hands.
Listen, he's doing his job, don't be an idiot.
You can't do nothing.
He went to sleep. The guard had enough and decided to take care of the problem by himself. Keep this in mind when you decide to be a clown and mess with the Royal Guard. This isn't even the worst that can happen. Take a look at this.
His gun is jammed. Can you see the knife on top of it? He can't shoot.
Get back from the Queen's Guard!
The arrogance of these rude boys. To think not only that the gun is jammed, but to push their luck so much because of it. It's terrible parenting at its finest.
Get back! Bye-bye! Get back from the Queen's Guard!
The British Royal Guards are known for their serious looks, flawless uniforms, and controlled attitude. These soldiers, in charge of defending the nation's most sensitive places, are not here to amuse you. However, some visitors, unaware of this truth, feel they can provoke or taunt the guards without consequences. Spoiler alert, they're wrong. In one silly case, a woman, maybe believing she was the star of her own reality show, stepped straight in front of a royal guard. The guard, remaining professional, sighed in disgust before giving her a strong push. This wasn't a subtle shove, it was a direct message. You're in my way. She stumbled back, perhaps reconsidering her decision to mess with a man wearing a bearskin cap. Next, we have a tourist who felt it was a good idea to sneak up on a guard's personal space, maybe hoping to strike up a nice conversation. How did the guard react? A single, frightening gaze was all it needed to send the man fleeing, understanding too late that the Queen's Guard isn't looking for new pals. In another crazy incident, a guy, feeling overconfident, continued to enter a guard's zone, hoping to provoke a reaction. The guard, unwavering, shoved the guy away with the accuracy of a trained statue. The crowd behind him presumably questioned whether they were seeing a comedy act, but the guard's unshakable manner made it plain that this was no joke.
I'm not being harmed, it's fun. But he can't do nothing. He can't do...
Listen, he's doing his job, don't be an idiot.
He can't do nothing.
The ridiculousness does not end there. Another tourist, despite a plainly obvious notice, believed it was a good idea to approach one of the guard's horses. To make matters worse, she grabbed the horse's reins as if it were a normal bicycle. The guard, who had been patient up until now, snapped, shouting at her in a tone that made her wish she had paid more attention to the sign.
Get off the road! Get off!
Next, there's the lady in the yellow outfit who thought a royal guard would be the ideal Instagram prop. She came too close and crossed a line she shouldn't have, and the guard made sure she knew. His outburst frightened her so much that she ran before even capturing the shot she wanted. She learnt the hard way that these guards do not care about your social media posts.
Do not touch the King's Guard.
Then there's the visitor, who believed she would run into the royal guards on their march. It was almost as if she were playing a real-life version of Frogger, except instead of avoiding traffic, she dodged troops. The soldiers barely stopped in their precise formation when they instructed her to make way. She was left unhappy, blocking these trained soldiers.
Make way!
Another visitor, entirely unaware of the king's guards advancing towards him, was lost in his own world, perhaps thinking about his next binge watch. With his headphones on, he didn't notice the guards until one of them screamed, "Make way!" He was startled and swiftly moved out of the path, learning an important lesson. Stay alert when the king's guards are on the move. Then there's the group of visitors who decided it was a good idea to sunbathe on the road, completely unaware that the royal guards were about to march directly over them. The soldiers marched by without hesitation, maintaining their strict order and confusing the tourists. They immediately recognized that if the royal guards are on the move, they should get out of the path or risk becoming a human speed bump.
Whoa.
Arrest me, sir.
Another ridiculous incident occurred when a visitor decided it would be funny to do a stupid dance in front of a royal guard. The visitor, maybe expecting to get a laugh from viewers, stepped right into the guard's path and began dancing wildly. The guard was not amused. Without missing a beat, he yelled, "Make way!" and the dancing foreigner froze in mid-movement. The visitor immediately understood this wasn't a game and fled, ashamed by his unsuccessful attempt to entertain.
Oh! Get yourself away! You can't be done that yesterday, I know! Do it, man!
We can't forget about the social media junkies. A visitor, anxious to take the ideal selfie with a royal guard, kept getting closer and closer, attempting to get the guard in the picture. Despite the guard's repeated warnings, the tourist ignored all warnings and continued to breach the guard's personal space. Finally, the guard, keeping his cool but plainly fired up, said, "Step back!" The traveller was surprised by the unexpected lesson and almost dropped his phone in astonishment before backing away, recognizing he had crossed the line.
It was built by Henry VIII.
Get back!
Finally, there's the woman who threw her glove at a royal guard and expected him to get it like a trained dog. Of course, the guard didn't do that. She waited there, waiting in vain for a response, until a palace staffer returned her glove, most likely explaining that the guard's job is to safeguard the nation, not play fetch. This was perhaps the moment she learned that royal guards aren't simply for show. They're real soldiers with real responsibilities.
Right, he's a soldier, he serves his country, and he deserves to be treated with a little bit of respect. Throwing your gloves at him isn't going to work, is it really?
The Royal Guards are more than simply a part of Britain's rich past. They are active defenders who should be respected. These events serve as a reminder that, while it may be tempting to test their patience, it is always better to maintain your distance and show appropriate respect. After all, you don't want to be the next person who learns this the hard way.
Stand back!
But hey, they're not always that strict. Even the harsh royal guards can't help but smile. Despite their image as rigid, there are times when a tourist's antics or an unforeseen event are simply too hilarious to resist. Whether it's a foolish child mimicking their march or an amusing outfit that takes them off guard, these fleeting moments of entertainment show that, underneath those serious expressions, they are still people. While they don't frequently break character, when they do, it serves as a reminder that even the most disciplined troops have a sense of humor.
I know him. He was never talkative. I remember him in school. He used to sit by himself and read books. I was just this guy fooling around and having fun. He was just reading. You were asking questions, you answer with his head. Yeah, no, What's your name? No. What? Is that a name?
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more amazing videos. Thank you all for watching.